and multi-criteria preference index. So I like to just give a note of it. Now we have find the pairwise comparison. We are going to define the preference function. So what is the preference function is, I'm going to replace the negative values by 0 and retain the positive values. So that is the preference function. And next I'm going to multiply those values by the corresponding weight. Now the step 5 and step 6 I wish to combine together. So how to do that? So now you can just multiply the same things over here also. There is no harm in that. So let me just now I want the criterion weights. So these are the criterion weights, and instead of this I'm just putting here. Okay. So now what happens? Now what condition I'm going to do is, so here if this value, that is the first value I'm going to take, if this is less than 0, I'm just going to give 0. Otherwise I just multiply your D18 star your this. So this is going to be a constant value, right? Yes. So now this is with respect to this criteria. I'm just going to extend it. So now what I have done, I'm just done a if condition, that is if this value was less than, I mean a negative value, it is less than 0, it will be replacing with a 0, and then if it is a positive value, it will be multiplying with this 0.2336. Okay, so I will just check whether we have got the same step or not. So yes, we have got it, because I have done step by step, but now I wish to just give you in a very combined and easier way for you. Now what will be this case? So this, let me just repeat once again. If this value, it is actually less than 0, you give the value is 0. Otherwise, the same value you multiply with this corresponding weight. And this weight is going to be a constant. So we can just introduce the $sign here. So I'm just pressing the enter and simply I'm going to drag it. So now here also the same thing. So if this condition is less than 0, you go with 0. Otherwise, you just multiply this cell with this corresponding weight. Okay. So now we are going to repeat the same step for everything. So we'll just see what happens if I'm going to drag it like this. Okay. So this particular cell is E. Okay. But now this is going to be your L. Now we'll check whether we have got the correct values or not. Yes. So now this is going to be your N, because the only change I can make over there, I need not type each and every formula. And if I'm going to drag it once again, and here it will be corresponding my N. So no more change, there is no need for me to make, I think so. Yes. So now let me check this. So this is the final value. I have got it after multiplying with the criterion weights. And I think we have also got the same values here. So, okay. So now this is the multi-criteria preference index. So we have got it. Now what is the next step? So you are going to find the positive and negative outranking flows. So it is very simple and it is very easier. So what are you going to do then? So now, before that, you are going to find this pi of a comma b, that is the sum of these weights. So only after that we can able to find the outranking positive and negative flows here. Now what are you going to do that? So you are going to find the sum of all these things. So you just find the sum, and you can just simply drag it. So now what is telling this is this D12, no, this final value corresponding to this one. So this you will call it as pi12. So here it is telling the preference of the first alternative over to the second. So now we have 4 alternatives. So what you will do is you will have your so you'll be having this one, and again, so you will go with your M1, M2, M3 and M4. Now, this particular value will be occupying the place here. That is, yes. So, one over the another, that is M1 alternative over the M1 alternative, no? So, it definitely will be having this 0 preference will be there. So, the diagonal elements will be having 0 entries. And now, this particular value, it is nothing but the preference of 1 over the second one. Again, there is difference of 1 over the third one, and here we are getting the value as 0, and this is 2 over 1, 2 over 2 is 0, this is 2 over 3, this is 2 over 4. So this particular values are placed like this. Now you are going to find the row sum of it as well as the column sum. So you can simply drag this, and now this will be again your sum. So this will be again equal to the sum of this rows. There is a column. Yes. So you are going to find this. So now you are going to find the positive outflows and negative outflows. So what is that? See, it is the summation pi ax value divided by n minus 1. So pi ax. If I want to find the positive outranking flow for the one alternative, so what is the need for me to find this row sum and column sum? So now let me just go with this M1, M2, all these things. Then I'll go with the positive flow. Then I'll go with the negative flow. So here. So here what happens here is, okay. So now we're going to find the positive flow here. Okay, let me see. I think it is having some calculations there. So we can just do it here, there's no problem. Okay, so the positive flow. So what is the formula to find the positive flow here? That is, if you want to find the positive flow of the one alternative, that alternative to the other alternative. So A to X. So X is varying for the alternatives. Okay. So now I'll be finding this one. So what is this one here? So M1 to M2. So again, M1 to M3, M1 to M4. So this value will be pi a comma a, that is pi 1 comma 1, pi of 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3 and 1 comma 4. And again, this value, no, I'll be dividing with the n minus 1. So n alternatives are there. So there are 4 alternatives. So n minus 1 will be actually 3. So this I can just tell it as, you can just divide it by 3 and you can just enter it here. So fine. So this again you can find the same way, divide by 3 and you can enter this one. So now this is a way again for M2, 2 to 1, 2 to 3, 2 to 4. So these values will be occupying the positive flow. Okay, and these values will be occupying as the negative value here. So this is how it takes place. Okay, so next I'll be finding the net flow. So how to find the net flow? That is your pi plus minus your negative. So we have done it. So we'll just check whether we are getting the same values. Yes. Now we are going to rank it. So how to do the ranking? So this again will be equal to, so your rank. So this number again you will be having with this range. So you should not forget this, put the dollar sign, otherwise we won't be getting the correct ranking. So just drag it, we'll see what result we are getting. So 4231. So yes, 4231. So let me repeat the procedure once again so that it will be a recapitulation of the things. So the very first step is you will be finding the input, that is a decision making matrix. You will be going with a maximum and minimum and maximum minus minimum. So directly you can go with the formula. There is no harm in that. But still I did as a stepwise for you to have a better understanding. And then we have normalized, because all the criteria are the benefit criteria. If any of the criteria is actually a cost criteria, then we'll opt the specific formula and we deal with that. And now here comes the pairwise comparison of one alternative over the another. And next we are following an if condition. So if this particular values, it is actually negative, you replace with a 0. Otherwise, you multiply the positive value with the corresponding weight. So it is easier. Next, you are finding the row sum. And these row sum values you are putting in the form of a matrix. And here it is a comparison matrix of one alternative over the another. So it goes deal about the preference value. So you are going to find the row sum as well as the column sum, which is representing the positive outflow and negative outflow respectively. And then you are going to find the net flow here, and you are just going to rank these alternatives based on your net flow values. So here the M4 given the first priority, followed by M2 and then M3 and M1. So this is a way of doing the Prompty 2, and here it is a very complete ranking method. So this is how we are getting the results. So it is a normalized, we have the pairwise comparisons. So this is a preference function. So here, no, we have just combined the previous step, that is this step we directly got 0 as well as the retention of what? The positive values. And then we start with the multiplying. So now preference and multi-criteria preference index, no, we just club together and we find the row sum, and this is the values. Then we are going to find the positive and negative flow and final ranking. So thank you.